evaluation on me and said, actually, we haven't found anything as serious to give you that pain, and almost dismissed me. And then I started to believe it was all in my head, because doctors couldn't find a reason for my pain, and that's when things got really very difficult for me, because I started to believe I was having a problem.
And painkillers weren't working at all? They weren't
painkillers certainly did work, and they masked the pain. And actually, at the time, I was taking a lot of over-the-counter painkillers, and we had a bit of a family intervention. And my sister, who lives in the UK, whose husband is a doctor, said, we're going to get her over to the UK. And they scanned me from head to toe in Ireland, in Dublin, or in the UK rather, in a wonderful hospital. And I was diagnosed for the first time with spinal stenosis, which was the first indication that I had a narrowing of the lower part of my spine. So there's a condition that could have caused this pain.
Right.
This pain.
But the bad news was they said, and actually, there ain't nothing we can do, honey. You're going to be stuck with this for the rest of your life. Which is a very bad day for you. All right, let's get some questions to you from the panel. Dawn, do you want to go first?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of listening to your story, Andrea, and you've had a really rocky old road. You felt dismissed by the medical profession, presumably. At what stage did you sort of start to feel that they were taking notice of you, or when you got all these diagnoses, what were you told?
When I came back from the UK, I got with a pain specialist in Dublin, and I started to get into the pain system, and I got onto really good medication, but a multiplex of medication. I was on various different things, and you get, as you know, with some medication, brain fog and different issues. You put on weight, you might lose a bit of your personality, your sex drive can go down. I mean, it really can cause a lot of other issues that you didn't know about. And eventually I just thought, can I do a pain management program? But when I went into that program first, I've done 2 since 3-week pain management programs, they told me I would never get rid of the pain. And as somebody in my 20s, and I just had got married and I wanted to have a child, I thought, hang on a second, I'm never ever going to get rid of my pain. But I was so silly. I believe that doctors have all the answers, and you have pain, just find out what's causing it and they'll get rid of my pain. And when you lose hope, that's a terrible thing to lose, because then what's the point in living if you're going to live in pain for the rest of your life?
Okay, let's move on to Hal. What's your question now?
Yeah, no, I had the same thing. I would have exactly the same assumption that you can always have drugs to deal with everything for the rest of your life. So, I mean, but in terms of actually how you get over this pain that way, is it a similar thing, like there's sort of positive pain and negative pain? Do you know that? Like, well, I remember once my sisters did psychology, and I was getting over a knee operation, and I was in real pain with it. She went, think of it as positive pain, it's like healing pain. Is there something like that you do, that you think of?
Well, there's acute pain, and then there's chronic pain. And what happened for me, I was actually sitting in work, and when I got the diagnosis of the rare brain disorder, I suddenly said, okay, this is getting serious. I've got now something wrong with my brain. And for the first time, I started to look to the brain as the source of my pain. Instead of looking at my coccyx bone and my arm or my leg, thinking the problem was in my arm, maybe it's coming from my brain. So I started to study clinical hypnotherapy. And I wanted to get into the alpha state of my brain. And I got into the placebo effect, and I was like, how can some people, spontaneously have remission from a very serious illness true to their mind? And I'm very religious as well, and I go to mass all the time, and I always go, please, God, why aren't you, giving me a miracle cure here? And actually what I realized is a lot of the time we're in the stress and fight or flight response, and all of us are working in our day-to-day jobs. And we don't go into the alpha state of our mind to really relax. And in that part of your brain, you can heal your brain. And there's about 90% of our subconscious mind that we're not really sure what happens. But I think miraculous things can happen. I changed the language of pain. I don't call it pain anymore. I call it sensations. I have healing hypnosis that I listen to every day. I write about it in the book and have it on the website. And it's been so curative. I managed to come off all my medication. Now, it didn't happen overnight. It took a long time.
Okay, Mitch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated by this. So, once you started doing the self-hypnosis to get in this state of mind, how long did it take you before you started to really notice that you weren't feeling the pain? Or was that part of the placebo effect, as you were saying?
Well, I started to change my self-talk, because a lot of the dialogue that we have with ourselves every day is very negative. So in the middle of the night when I was in pain, I would catastrophize. Tomorrow's going to be a terrible day. I'm going to wake up in pain. Oh, it's going to be terrible. And before I even got out of bed, I was having a terrible day. So then I started to say, I'm getting well, all is well, everything's turning out for my higher good, The sensations are in my body, but I can manage them. And I really applied positive mental thinking to my day. I started to write affirmations out. I would go into the doctor, and I mean, I still have a great relationship with my doctor, so I'd go into my doctor, and I'd say, I'm healing myself, I'm healing my body back to full health. And he'd say, how's that working out for you? And I'd say, very well, thank you. It's doing very well. But I must admit, I have a wonderful care bubble in Ireland. I have a great GP who trusts and believes in me, and she brought down my medication, you know, safely and slowly. I have a wonderful pain specialist. I have, obviously, a surgeon who knows I don't want to go for the brain surgery now, although I need it because I'm losing power in my arms. It's starting, I mean, it's degenerating. But they're all working with me, and they're saying, if you're living so well, and if you're feeling well and looking well, I lost loads of weight as well, because tablets make you put on a lot of weight. And everybody keeps telling me, I've never seen you look so well. And I'm like, it's the power of my mind. I'm healing myself. But honestly, I mean, there's some, you know, while the story is, my story is very sad, I had some very dark moments because, you know, when you lose hope, I was drinking too much at night time to get rid of the pain. I did all sorts of terrible things. But there is light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, okay. Well, we're going to take a break here, and then we're going to let the people ask you questions. But one quick one, just a very quick answer, please. Right now, I won't use the word pain, are you having sensations?
Hugely.
Are you? Now, is that stress?
No, especially on this side of my neck, I'm very sore. That's why you see I kind of shift around. I can't sit back on my coccyx bone, so I'm moving around.
I can only repeat what my wife said to you 3 years ago. You can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. Okay, well, after the ads, we'll take your calls on using mind over matter to deal with chronic pain. Did it work for you? What did you try? What do you want to ask her? 0207 173 5555 is the number. If you're thinking of giving it a go, Andrea stays with us to answer any questions you have for her. And, of course, our GP, Dr. Dawn Harper, is here on the panel as well. So your call's next.
Which of these meditation techniques are said to beat pain? Imagine injection of a miraculous painkiller. Think of a time when you were pain-free, or picture something pleasant. The answer is all three.
Again. Welcome back to this morning's show with Hal and Dawn and Midge. Still to come, I'd love to hear your stories on showing unwanted, developed some fantastic mind over matter techniques basically to deal with pain, which must work, because if you look at her killer heels that she's wearing, right, wearing stuff like that, you must be in full control of pain, because they must be killing you.
But I take them off afterwards, it's all an illusion. I'll be back in hospital tomorrow in Dublin, and I will look terrible. It's all an illusion. You can't judge a book by a cover.
Okay. Right, okay. Storm, who have we got on the line with a question?
We've got Sheldon on line 1.
Sheldon, on line 1. Your witness to Andrew here. What do you want to ask her?
To be honest, it's not really a question.
Okay.
I was talking about my pain, basically my personal pain. I was actually crushed by a 14-ton armored vehicle.
What, tank?
Yeah.
Jesus, wow.
And basically tore the nerves on my spinal cord in my left side. So, on my best day, it feels like somebody's pouring boiling oil down my back.
Oh, yeah.
But I went through a stage before my sister born where it was unbelievably bad. Like, I still black out regularly. I go through shock. Literally, my body shuts down. So much pain. But since I've had my kids, then I've got back into working out regularly with a very, very understanding and patient personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
It puts you in a different mindset. The mental state that made me a good soul to kind of also get you through even the worst days.
Mm.
I'm still dead down about 5 days a week, but even on my worst days, I will get up, do as much as I can.
And you're saying that this personal trainer who you said is very patient with you, it's only since you started doing those sessions, working on your body, that you've been able to, not all the time obviously, but purely through that kind of a mental approach, overcome the worst of the pain?
Well, I think so, yeah. Imagine you focus on one thing, and that's pain, and it is an overwhelming sensation that takes over every part of your daily life.
Yes.
So I could be having a great day and reach out, pick up a cup of tea, something pops inside my neck, and I can't actually put a sentence together anymore.
Mm.
You know, pain to the point where the world no longer makes sense.
On the basis of what you've heard so far, we've been really just scratched the surface here, could you suggest anything else that he could do? He talks about having physio, but what else might he be able to do from your experience that could help beat it?
Well, I have to say, Sheldon, I think your story has really touched me, because to go through so much pain and to be able to be positive and work with somebody. Think about as you mentioned, your own self-talk, positive affirmations, maybe writing something out every morning, have an affirmation, all is well, every day my body's healing itself back to its natural state of full health. On my own website, andreahayes.ie, I have lots of free healing hypnosis. Listen to audio in your ears. If you can't sleep during the night, pop something into your ears and try not to catastrophize. But I think you're doing amazingly well, and I wish you lots of love and healing, health and good health, because you seem to have a really positive mindset.
He does,
that's very hard.
He really does.
Very hard.
Thanks for the call, Sheldon, and good luck in the future. Hope that helps a bit more. Storm, who's next?
We've got Gemma on line 3.
Gemma, you don't believe in this, do you?
No, I don't. I've tried the meditation and relaxation technique. I personally suffer with lupus and fibromyalgia, which affects the whole of my body.
Right.
And I find that when I'm relaxing, the pain hits me even more, and I'm basically crippled. And I've got a 3-year-old, and having to tell my 3-year-old that, no, Mummy can't play today, Mummy's in too much, it hurts. And I'm willing to try new techniques and that, and at the moment I'm finding nothing working.
All right, Gemma, let's see if we can help. She's trying it, it's not working.
Well, what I would say is pace and space your activities first. Pacing is very important. You've got a 3-year-old, your hands are really tired. Maybe try to get into a pain management system here in the UK. There's some excellent services there. Reach out, get support, because once you get that care bubble around you, then you'll be in a place with that support that you might be able to then reach into your mind to help, because sometimes you can be just overwhelmed and it's not the right time. So you need that little bit of extra support. Go to a doctor. If the doctor's not helping you, find another doctor. Fibromyalgia is a very, very crippling disease of the body. Your pain is real and you need all the support. Maybe pain management can help, but try and pace and space yourself and be kind to yourself, because you're doing really well, particularly if you have a 3-year-old and you're managing it day by day. Well done.
Okay, just very quickly, you gave an interesting analogy during the break about attitudes to pain. I mean, we're hearing it's all about perception. And what were you saying about tickling?
Well, it's a very simple way of putting it, but I think if you are stroked or tickled by a loved one, that is a very pleasant experience. If you were in a torture chamber and blindfolded, that exact sensation would be a very unpleasant experience, and that is the brain interpreting that physical sensation. So it stands to reason that you can turn it the other way around.
Right.
You can control it with your mind. Yeah.
Just scratched the surface, like I say, but that was fascinating. Thank you very much indeed, Andrea, and the very best of luck. I guess at some point you will need that off, and when it happens, I hope it really helps. Thanks so much for being here. Good luck with the book as well.
Thank you.
Okay.